If you're watching this video, you probably know who Hatsune Miku is. And if you don't, I'm not gonna lie, I have no clue how this got on your feed. Thank you, YouTube algorithm. But for the people who do know her, you probably don't know her history and how she became who she is now. And that's what we're going to be talking about today. So strap in, grab some snacks, grab maybe a beverage. I don't really know. I don't really care. Now let's dive in. Now, we're not going to go all the way from the start of Hatsune Miku. We're going to have to go a little bit back in time. And that's going to be March of 2000. Yamaha was looking into developing this program called Daisy. Yamaha was looking to make a program where professional singers and voice actors would sound out specific phrases, sounds, syllables, and make that into instruments. And since the internet was not really a big thing back then, people did not know what this was at all. So when they did announce it a few years later, the reception was kind of weird. It took about 3 years to figure out and finally announced at, I'm gonna butcher the name, sorry, this is in German, Musikmesse Frankfurt.
Musikmesse Frankfurt.
Fuck. Their new program called Yamaha Vocaloid. Now, you might be wondering, why did they change the name from Daisy to Vocaloid? Well, it's due to a copyright from a song called Daisy Bell. That was made all the way back in 1961. And you know what? That song is creepy as shit, so thank God they had to change the name. A little under a year later, they finally dropped their program, and in that year, they dropped 3 Vocaloids. The first being Leon and Lola. And you might be wondering, where's the cute anime waifu or the hot husbando? Well, they never got one. They were English Vocaloids, so they never got one. They were just 2 pairs of lips. Then the next one that came out on November 5th of 2004 was called Miku. I think that's how you say it. She was the first Japanese Vocaloid and was voiced by Miko Hygo. And looking at the avatar and the singer side by side, they look very similar, but this really is only when they use the voice actor's name and look to use it as the avatar. If there are other Vocaloids like that, then I have no clue. In 2005, nothing really happened, like, at all. But in 2006, they made another Japanese Vocaloid, and that was Kaito. Yeah, nobody really cared about Kaito, so we can kind of just sweep him under the rug. But there was news of Yamaha making an updated version of their program, and people were a little excited for it. It's the beginning of the year at NAMM in Anaheim, California, and Yamaha announces an updated version of their original software, Yamaha Vocaloid 2. A few other Vocaloids came out around this time, but it wasn't until a few months later that they finally got their big break. On August 31st, 2007, they released their newest product called Hatsune Miku, a blue-haired, twin-tailed anime girl with a pretty high-pitched voice, and the person whose voice was sampled for her was Saki Fujita. She's a voice actor, which means she must have had some other roles, right? Let me check. Oh, cool, she was Ymir from Attack on Titan, and let me check what else she did. Oh no. Just in the first month, Miku had already sold well over 3,000 units, and she only got more popular with time. Now, let me preface this by saying she really was only popular in Japan at first, so for the first few years, we'll be staying here until her first global appearance. With 2007 coming to a close and 2008 finally here, Miku sold well over 40,000 units, and in Japan she kept on getting more and more popular. And with the rise of fame, she got her first ever signed deal, and that was with Good Smile Racing. Her first signed deal was with a professional race car company. That's honestly one of the funniest parts of her rise to fame. I honestly don't know why, I just think it's stupid. And also, this thing popped up. Yeah, this also got popular. If you are a Vocaloid fan, you probably know who she is. And if you don't know, then this is Kasane Teto. She is an Utaloid. That is basically the same thing as a Vocaloid, but instead of professional singers and voice actors, they are just regular people using their voice. And it's not licensed by anything. And this only got Miku and the Vocaloid culture even more popular. The first ever Hatsune Miku video game came out, and that was Hatsune Miku Project Diva. It was exclusive to Japan, but was able to sell 100,000 copies. It was just a rhythm game for the PS Vita, nothing crazy, but again, it was still able to do pretty well. But something else came out this year. It was a song, nothing too crazy, nothing too popular. Man, I'm fucking lying! Rona's Mind got hundreds of millions of views and finally brought Hatsune Miku overseas. This again got Miku more and more popular, and just with this one song, she was able to branch out to other artists and celebrities. Oh yeah, and the artist Deco27 came out, and if you don't know her, or the artist, she is basically what I like to call freakier version of Miku. We really see this way later throughout her rise to fame, but that's really all you need to know about them. Now, before the 2010s rolled around, Hatsune Miku had a few concerts in Japan, but nothing overseas. That is until March of 2010, when she had her first ever concert outside of Japan. I'm going to butcher this name like really badly, so I'm sorry and please don't make fun of me. Miku no Hikanashi, 39's Giving Day. Damn! Was basically just a collection of songs that had already been released, but people loved it anyway. Oh, and remember the meme Nyan Cat? Remember that? That was actually made using an Utoloid back in 2010, but it didn't blow up until a year later when the GIF came out. And once that hit the internet, even more people started hearing about Vocaloids and of course, Hatsune Miku. Nothing crazy really happened in 2012, except for the third installment of Yamaha Vocaloid coming out, which just added more realism to the voices and more expressions to play with. Then in 2013, we saw two major concert events drop that are still going strong today. First was Magical Muri, which started in 2013 and was a Japan exclusive concert and expo. And then there was Miko Expo, which was designed as a tour for international audiences. This was one of the biggest years for Hatsune Miku for the one reason that there were so many debuts outside of Japan. The first one being Lady Gaga on the Art Rave tour. This was a big deal for the sole reason that it marked Miku's major debut to mainstream Western audiences. Now yes, she already had a fanbase outside of Japan, but given Lady Gaga's global reach, people who had probably never seen or even heard of Miku were suddenly getting exposed to her music. She also collaborated with another big US artist, Pharrell Williams, on a remix called Last Night Good Night. And if that wasn't enough, she even teamed up with Louis Vuitton. Now, that was only in Japan, but still pretty cool. And to top it all off, she made an appearance on the David Letterman show to promote one of her concerts in New York. And let me say, I could not stop cringing. It's just weird to see David Letterman look at an anime girl without trying to be weirded out. Either way, with all of these appearances, her popularity just kept skyrocketing. Now, not a lot happened during this stretch of time, except for a couple of things. Two more Miku games dropped, and Yamaha Vocaloid 4 was released, which, like the others, just brought more improvements and tweaks to the voices and how they were used. Then, in 2017, Miku officially turned 10 years old, which meant a ton of merch dropped to celebrate her decade of existence. There were also a lot more concerts happening around the world, with the biggest one being Miku Expo 2017. Overall, the biggest parts of 2018 and 2019, and probably the most important to talk about, were all about Snow Miku, an event based solely in Sapporo, Hokkaido. Every February since 2010, they'd hold concerts, events, and more for Miku during the winter. But her popularity for Snow Miku really blew up during 2018 and 2019. The big 2020! Who the hell can forget? Due to COVID, Miku was supposed to go to this very tiny small event to the US, but it got cancelled and pushed to another year. Her presence online actually got a lot bigger because of COVID, with online concerts popping up and a shit ton more merch dropping than ever before. 2021 to 2023, Japan had to be closed for a while because of COVID, so nothing really crazy happened there, except for these VR concerts, and that Miku got turned into an NFT. Like that fucking matters anymore. In the US though, 2023 saw her finally get her Miku Expo again, which means it's only a matter of time before Japan opens back up and starts having Miku concerts again. Magical Muri 2024 had events held in Fukuoka, Tokyo, and Osaka, which meant people could finally see her live in Japan again. But you know what? Let's check on the US. Let's see what's happening there. I bet nothing crazy is happening there. She's in fucking Coachella? Yeah, no one was really ready to see Hatsune Miku on the list of names for Coachella. She was actually supposed to be back there in 2020, but of course, COVID canceled that, so her real debut didn't happen until 2024. Also, a song hit massive numbers this year. Mesmerizer became the fastest Vocaloid song to hit 100 million views. crazy numbers. We're finally in the present, the big 2025, and this is already shaping up to be another huge year of collaborations. And the year hasn't even ended yet. First, we've got the Asus collab, which includes a bunch of Miku-inspired PC gaming peripherals, keyboards, headsets, and the whole package. Then, for some reason, McDonald's decided to bring back Nyan Cat. Yay. It was exclusive to Japan, but yay. And then, we've got 3 video game collaborations. The first one being Rocket League, which is cool, but nothing crazy. The second one being this random Sonic racing game. Also, Joker's there. I still can't escape him, and it kind of pisses me off. And then the third one, I think we all know what it is. Fortnite! Yeah, Hatsune Miku is out here cranking 90s now. Honestly, don't even know how to feel about this anymore. And that's the wild ride of Hatsune Miku. From a weird little voice software in 2007 to handling Coachella and hitting the gritty in Fortnite in 2025, who would have thought a blue-haired anime girl made from sampled syllables would become an international pop star? Whether you're a diehard Vocaloid fan or just someone who saw her on David Letterman, hopefully you learned something new or at least enjoyed the video. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. Comment, like, and subscribe. If you enjoyed this video and want to see more, check out the channel. There's probably something that you'll like. So, with all that being said, noches.